It is so difficult to be able to be this warrior, basically what it is. And you're competing and you're trying to demolish the opposition. Hitting is hard already. You're facing the best guys in the world and you're up there grinding it out. And then all of a sudden the game's over. And then all of a sudden, here comes your family. You have a family that's there, that's been waiting all day to see you. It is a hard thing to turn that switch off.
Welcome to the Living in the Zone podcast. I'm your host, ZoneCoach Jim Fannin. I've coached champions in life, business, and sports for 50 years with a proprietary thought management system that I discovered called SCORE. Every guest on this show has been in what we call a zone state, a purposeful, calm feeling where nothing can go wrong, and you're performing at your highest level. Our guest today is José Cruz Jr. I coached Jose as a Major League Baseball player for 12 years, helping him manage not only a Gold Glove and peak performance on the field, but also helping manage everything in life off the field. Welcome to the show. You're going to get an insight on how José Cruz Jr. performed life and sports in the zone. José Cruz Jr., welcome to Living in the Zone. I've known you a long time. What a career.
Thank you.
You know, José Cruz Jr. means that there was a senior, and that was your father, still in baseball. That means you were 4, 5, 6 years old in the locker rooms, MLB, very comfortable. And then you have kids. You got Trey Cruz, the third legacy, making his Detroit Tiger affiliate in the pro ranks. What's that like? That's got to be surreal. And what does your father think about that? The legacy. Acorns don't fall far from the tree, they say.
My dad is very proud. I want to say he's Trey's biggest fan. He's constantly watching. Constantly, telling me what I need to tell him that he needs to do. So he can't help it. He's
always coaching.
Baseball lifer, absolutely. But he's very positive about it, loves it. I am now like, oh, I wish you were this kind when I was playing. But he's great.
Is he mellowed?
Extremely mellowed.
Isn't that fascinating?
I'm starting to understand as I keep getting older, but it was just like.
Does that mean you're getting more mellow?
I am. I'm gaining perspective of what's really important.
So what did you learn from your father, baseball-wise? A couple of things that you say, yeah, that was a little nugget that stuck with me for a while. What did you learn from Pops?
It's funny that it came out one day. I ended up being inducted into the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame. So I'm up there talking, and my dad's there with me, and I started I had no idea what I was going to say, which is pretty much how most of my speeches go. And so I started talking about him and his influence and what he wanted me to do and what was his expectancy and what he always told me. And it came down to hustle. That was the big one. Always hustle. Everything you do, just hustle. The other one's hard work. Like, you got to work hard for everything you do. This is not going to just come.
Did you learn your professionalism from him?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Watching him?
For sure.
How disciplined was he before games? Did he have crazy routine?
He
Baseball
was,
players have crazy pre-game routines.
The last thing that he taught me was have fun. So it was like these things that ended up coming in, and that's exactly how he attacked it. Like he was engaged. He was not afraid of the battle, of the fight, but at the same time he had a passion, and he had a good time. He had fun playing baseball, and that was one of his things all the time. Just have fun, man. Go out there, have fun, enjoy the game, enjoy what you're doing, enjoy the game. So those are the things that he just kind of, and he instilled that in me, and I always had a good time. I mean, I feel like a lot of my teammates enjoyed having me around. I was always able to loosen things up for the guys. I was pretty self-deprecating in many ways, and probably it served me well because, you know, it's like you're failing. It seems like you're failing at something every day, and you're still showing up again. And
perseverance.
I want to say that's how you succeed.
Keep going. So what would Trey, your son, and you have 3 kids,
right?
But what would Trey say about you? If I asked Trey, what did you learn from your dad? What do you think he would say about you?
I have no idea. I've never been asked that question. I have no idea. I don't know what he'd say. Hopefully a hard worker, passionate, positive, hopefully. Something like that. I would hope he says.
So I'm going to walk through your 12-year career, if I may. Seattle Mariners. I believe I met you there. Toronto Blue Jays. I think I was coaching you then. San Francisco Giants. Those were some glory times. Little Gold Glove, and I think you had 8 total assists from the outfield. I think that was in 03. I think that was with the Blue Jays. I think. Then you went to Tampa Bay. I remember that. The Dodgers, Padres, Astros coming home. What was that like coming home?
I always wanted to play there at some point. It just never happened. I don't know if it was the GM didn't like families together at the time. And
was your dad
he was a coach. He was
that's
the coach
what I
at the
thought,
time.
yeah.
He was the first base coach at the time. And so the GM left, and they got a new GM, and then I was able to come in.
You were able to play, got rid of it.
So I was able to get the opportunity, and that was cool. I mean, I'm one of, it's either, I might be the only one that's basically high school, Houston, college in Houston, and Houston Astros.
Rice University.
Rice University,
exactly.
That's right. Bel Air High School, Rice University.
And then you went to the Diamondbacks and then the Red Sox. So I'm going to ask you, tell me about your first professional MLB at bat. Do you remember with the Mariners?
I do remember.
Where were you? Kingdom?
I was in the Kingdom. We were playing the Detroit Tigers.
Nervous?
Yes. There was some. It was the only time in my career where I ran one sprint before the game and was ready to go. I made like 1 or 2 throws and I was ready to go. It's the only time it's ever happened. So that was fascinating.
What happened with that at bat?
The first at bat. My first at bat was a story of my life, and it was a rollover to second base.
A roll. All right. So now we're going to go to Boston.
Okay.
When you had your last at bat in Major League Baseball, number one, did you know it was your last at bat?
No, I did not know it was my last at bat, but it was a rollover to second.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Consistent.
Well, you were so fast. A lot of stolen bases. You had a rocket arm in right. I remember and you could play the field. My goodness, you had a .986 career fielding percentage. That is,
you know what?
That's a big deal.
That's news to me. I did not even know that. So thank you.
I mean, .986 is like for 12 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's improbable. Who does that? Nobody does that.
You know what's funny? You talk about stats. I'll tell you the stats that I know. I have 204 home runs. I have over 100 stolen bases, and that's about it. Okay. I'm like the rest of it.
What did you do in 2001? That was your career high home runs and career high ribbies.
I had 30-something homers. And
34.
34, thank you. And I must have had 31 or 2 stolen bases.
I think you did have 30.
I went over 30. I know.
You had,
I remember stealing. I remember it because we were facing John Rocker. So we're facing John Rocker, and I think he's with Cleveland. And I get a base hit off John Rocker, and then I'm like, not wasting time. I'm going on the first pitch, and I took off, and I just beat the throw, and the first person to congratulate me was Roberto Alomar.
Really?
About it.
My gosh!
Yeah, the guy I looked up to.
The guy you looked up to.
The guy that I was trying to emulate playing wise, switch hitter, defense, power speed, and he was the first one to congratulate me.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
I was pretty excited.
You had 88 ribbies that year too.
Ooh, I was leadoff batter.
And you were a leadoff guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What a great career, and it's tough being a professional athlete. A lot of people go, "Oh, you make so much money, and you're on TV, and can I have your autograph?" But you had 3 little kids at home, and awesome wife, Sarah, but you're not there.
No, man.
You and I had this discussion many, many nights. And the thing that most people don't realize about pro baseball, from about 2 o'clock until 10 o'clock every night, you're sequestered.
Yeah.
If something happens, like during the game, your kid has to go to the emergency room, fell or something, what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. How tough was it being a dad, a husband, of course a son, a brother, and a baseball player? That's living in the zone. Yeah. That's a challenge for pro athletes.
It's definitely, it can be a lot. I have, new perspective now. I've been away from the game now for a bit. It got to be, like 15 or 16 years. So I've been able to really reflect. And I didn't, like when you're a young player, I thought I was going to play baseball forever. I did. And then it got to the big leagues, and it became a struggle. And the next thing you know, I have a couple kids. And like one of the things that I always look back on and regret in a way is like I was so focused in trying to make it that both my boys were like they're between ages 0 to 3 is a blur to me, very limited memory. My daughter, when she was born, she was born after my 30-30 season. I had already signed a multiple-year contract. I was a little more settled, and I remember so much more of her as a baby. And
well,
all
you
that
were
stuff.
so in the moment. That's why you can't remember anything. You were and of course, that's our training
Yes.
Get out of the past, get out of the future. I have no future, I have no past.
What matters
Make the
is
present.
now.
It's about now.
It's about right now. It's about this pitch, and that's it. And then it's like the day's over. What time do I have to be here tomorrow? See you then.
But your self-discipline was exemplary. I'd coached so many baseball players. You're at the top of the food chain for me on your discipline.
It was. Let me tell you,
could that have been better?
You're bringing up some stuff I haven't even thought about in a while, and it's like in a way I have to, thank my wife for being as strong as she was to be able to.
Oh, she's a rock.
To just, for me to be able to trust that my kids were in such good hands, and she was very supportive, and she was like, "Hey, go, I got him. Go, I got him." It's one of those things that later I reflect back, and it's just like, what that I should have appreciated even more, because it's just like, it's not just something that happens. It's something that really takes a special person. So in many ways, that part of it.
Special. She just ran a mountain in Kenya.
Yeah, she just
60,000. What is that? I mean, Sarah, I need to have her on the show.
Yeah, she'll tell you some things. Yeah, she's definitely she was great. Like really, the more I reflected back on that helped me out immensely, and it's a peace of mind. And ultimately, it's like we talk about the zone a lot. It's like you can't have it with with different things going on. Like you have to be able to be clear-minded to really step into something and do something special or something great. So
well, there's a lot of sacrifice to reach the pinnacle of success in anything, and you did sacrifice.
Yeah, it was a lot.
But baseball is the most difficult schedule in all of pro sports. I mean, 162 games. How many games does Rice University baseball play?
56.
56. They're exhausted at the end of the year, and I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
You got another 110 to go, or 100,
and not even counting spring training,
or playoffs.
Yeah, or playoffs.
I mean, it could be 200 innings. So
it could be 200.
But when you're locked in from spring training all the way through to a playoffs, then you come home in the off season, and Sarah says, "Take out the garbage."
Yeah.
It's a total paradigm shift in 1 year. You're one thing, and then, oh, now I'm full-time dad, and I'm driving my kids places.
What's difficult.
But you did that well, I thought.
Thank you. I tried. I got better as I got older, but it is so difficult to be able to be this warrior, basically what it is, and you're competing and you're trying to just, you're trying to demolish the opposition, and it's a manhood check.
Under intense scrutiny,
right,
from fans and booing.
It's mass chaos, in there, and I mean, hitting is hard already. You're facing the best guys in the world, and you're up there, just grinding it out, and then all of a sudden the game's over, right, and then all of a sudden, here comes your family. You have a family that's there, that's been waiting all day to see you. And I think now, in a lot of reflection since I've left and seeing a lot of things and friends and guys who've succeeded and guys who've failed at baseball, or great at baseball and failed in marriage, it is a hard thing to turn that switch off.
The divorce rate in Major League Baseball is in the the low 90% range.
I was going to say at least 80-something percent.
Over 90% divorce rate,
it's easy
and
to do.
It's one of the highest. But I remember introducing you to the 90-second rule, which is a tool to concentrate on family, especially when you go from the baseball field. The first 90 seconds after you've been away from somebody you love for at least 2 hours, in baseball you are, has more impact on that relationship than spending hours with them later. You started doing that. You could have been the poster guy for our 90-second rule program. You gave Sarah undivided attention in that. Once you embraced that.
I had to. I use the 90-second rules for a lot of things. I mean, I know that you were like, hey, take 9 seconds to be pissed and then come back. That was just too short of a period for me. I applied it there in the opposite way, and to where it's like 90 seconds. That's all I'm giving myself, and then I got to let it go and be free of it and move on.
That is our battle cry. Next.
That's next, and I did that in all. Basically, I still do it to this day. I'll be pissed, and I'll allow myself to feel that emotion, get there, and then move on. And then it's 90 seconds. At the same time, I still do it where I arrive at the house, and I've been trying to even head it off at the pass to where it's like I am trying to put a different hat on when I'm walking into the house and leave the cell phone done, and I'm not walking into the house with a cell phone in my ear, if all possible. And then I go and make sure that I greet her.
And look your significant other in the eye long enough to discern eye color.
That's right.
And the first time you do that, they're like, what's wrong with you? Why are you looking at me so intense? But I love that.
It's an important piece, man. It creates the connection. It's a connectivity piece, and I think it goes way further than people can imagine.
It does. Yeah, it's been one tool that's resonated through everybody that I've coached in my career. So you leave baseball, got a lot of opportunities. You're very articulate in Spanish and English. ESPN comes in. You're like, wow, I'm going to be heading up. I'm going to be the baseball guy, which you could be. And you're on a fast track to do that.
That was good. That was going to be fun.
I remember that. And you were good at that. And but you had a vision. I remember the time we talked about it. I've always said you're more than a baseball player, and you are. Players Association, you were at the top of the food chain in that.
We wanted
with
to
Tony
do
Clark.
Yeah.
You were right up there.
Yeah.
But still traveling. But I remember us having a discussion. what would be a great dream? And it's head
That's
coach
so
at
funny.
Rice. Let's talk about
I
that.
should have just said
That's a visualization.
Man, if that video existed, or maybe it was a phone interview. I remember we were talking about it. We had the interview, and it was like, where do you see yourself in 5 years, something like that, or in the next 3 or 4 years, something like that. And I was like, I don't want to say it right now. I don't want to say it, but I know where. Man, I didn't know it was going to happen like it did, but yeah, it was to coach my alma mater and be the head coach at Rice. And that, I mean, we must have had the conversation. Must have been maybe 2017 or so.
We did.
Something like that. And
but you fleshed it out. You didn't just want to be the coach. You wanted to take them to some glory days.
Yes, I do. And
you're doing that.
I'm working on that right now to be able to get it to what I'm calling like the Rice 2.0 of baseball and the baseball world.
So here you go. Superstar athlete, a lot of accolades, great success, baller, score for life. Now you're making an adjustment. What's it like putting on the coaching hat when they can't do what you could do? They can't run as fast as you did. They don't have your mindset. They don't have your talent. And if they did, they probably wouldn't be there. They may have been drafted out of high school if they were that good. How tough was that transition?
That transition's definitely been tough. I've been around. There's multiple layers here. So, like, I've been around a lot of professionals and a lot of major leaguers, and it's just like common practice. Like, shortstops field the ball, they throw to the first real nice, it's sweet, it's nice. Third baseman has a cannon. The catcher receives. I mean, all these things, right? And when I got there, it wasn't quite that. It was just like, we don't have a shortstop.
We don't have a shortstop.
We don't have a shortstop.
Much like coaching a shortstop. I don't have one.
We don't have one. It was incredible. So it was like our catcher's not catching balls. Our catcher doesn't want to block. And you're like, what do you mean? You're a catcher. Center fielders in La La Land. So it was like it was extremely challenging, to say the least.
And it's not. I mean, Rice is top 7 in the country academically, or
it was
definitely top 10.
It was one of the top.
So they're all smart.
Yes.
Or they can't get in.
They're smart. So a lot of them are very analytical and skeptical, and you almost have to tell them to do these certain things, and this is why, to do it and to get that buy-in. So that was a challenge at the beginning. I think as we've moved on, the guys have been able to breathe in, and the group here has been able to breathe in to the guys a little bit more, and their mentality is a little different. So the next part is good. They're focusing on what they need to focus, the task at hand at the moment, the breathing.
But you've been very persistent with a culture. So you've developed your own culture.
Yes.
That you got to plug into our culture, and I'm sure you're using that
exactly right.
in recruiting too.
So we're 100%. So last year when we started to become successful, there was a couple things that we needed that I challenged the guys on, and it was a buy-in part. It was a part about being fearless, and the guy who was willing to do it more, who had the most want to.
Now let me say, being fearless. How do you be fearless in front of a Gold Glover when the Gold Glover is coaching someone who's not remotely a Gold Glover? Are they intimidated by your success before they get there?
I have no idea.
It really doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
No
it is
idea.
what it is.
But the thing is that for you to be able to execute what you need to do and put yourself in the position of and how we practice it for you to be successful and help the team win. So who has the want to, who has the most will to go out there and be successful, and that's how I started to put the lineup together. And I put the lineup together of who has the most will, and those are guys with the most will are going to play. And I disregarded anything with talent and potential.
These are people that are really committed,
bought in,
to mentally,
all
physically, technically.
If you tell them run through the wall, they're like, no problem, here we go. It wasn't like, I don't know if I can, it wasn't. So every single guy was like, no, I'll run through that wall, no problem. Let's go. So we got that group going, which was a fascinating deal because all of a sudden we started winning, and it created it raised the bar for us, what it did. And there was an elevated standard. And so the beauty of that was that we ended the season on a pretty high note. We were in a conference tournament. We were so close to beating the number 1 seed twice. The guys
I won't mention their name. I'm not even going to mention their name.
Either.
Good.
And so they were on a high to the point where it's just like they created a group, an accountability group, to make sure that they are all working on the summer because they are going to do some damage this next year. The offense is coming in. We've been able to recruit different guys with the same mindset that we need and we want. So now all of a sudden it's all coming together. The whole vision. Sometimes the vision takes time
it normally takes 3 to 4 years, sometimes 5.
But we've already laid it out. We've written it out. We've yelled it to the universe. This is what we want. And here's where our energy is going towards this.
We've seen the change that you've made. This is our 3rd year implementing the score system at Rice, and the transition from that first year to the 2nd year, and then this year, it's been
the demand is going to be so high of what we need.
And you have a beautiful facility. That I love your stadium. It's tricked out. It's got everything.
We have a lot of bells and whistles. Right?
You do.
We have a lot of tech, and ultimately the tech is great for us, the coaches, because it's a great feedback machine.
You have a great coaching staff too.
Yes, our staff is great. It's finally, I think it's exactly what I wanted to be. We're a bunch of guys that are developers of talent. We're very confident in
teachers?
that. Yes, teachers and mentors to these young men. We feel like they're our family, and we want to make sure we elevate them.
You say one thing all the time about being a Rice guy. What's a Rice guy?
So a Rice guy is a guy that takes everything he does and does it the right way, whether it's academics or whether it's training or whether it's the game.
Or
right?
social relationships.
Everything is done to a certain standard. It's just a certain standard of everything we do, the quality of work that we do. That's the Rice way. That's how you get vetted. You show up. You always show up. You're responsible. You're
and the
you're
Rice
where you need
alumni, which obviously you're one of them. I've met some other alumni from Rice. They keep coming back and supporting you. It's a huge support group.
It's a big
as
deal.
A Rice guy.
It is. It's a big deal. We are a small group.
Antonio went to Rice. Your oldest,
yeah. I have both my boys and my brother all went to Rice there. So it's like it's a nice group of people that support Rice. Rice people support Rice people. Again, we're a very small group. So
beautiful campus.
Beautiful campus.
Trees are spectacular.
Yeah, 10,000 oak trees.
10,000 oak trees. I love it.
It is in the middle of Houston too. So it's you don't feel like you're in Houston when you're walking in our campus. So it's a blessing to have that as my office.
Well, speaking of your office, you walk into your office. One of the things you showcase, maybe more than anything, you got some academic All-Americans, don't you?
Yeah, we have all kinds. We have all kinds of All-Americans. So it's like
you have a lot of pride in the academic side.
Yeah,
of
it's part of it. I mean, again, it's like.
Were you a good student? You must have been to get into Rice.
I was. I mean, I'm not getting into Rice without baseball. So there's no way. Okay,
there's no way.
So I mean, and for whoever's listening, it's like, hey, use sports to be able to open doors that otherwise would not be open for you. So that's the beauty of the sports-wise. I think Rice was an interesting place for me because it was tough the first year. I mean, it was like I wasn't quite prepared for all of it. I have all this time. I don't know what to do with it. But as I went through it, like my junior year was a year of the most pressure that I had. I mean, all these expectations, and I was one of the top prospects in the United States, and that was my best academic year that I was there.
Isn't that fascinating?
It is.
Wow.
Man. I learned about time management. And so time management all of a sudden,
you better learn in college, because if you don't have it after that, you're pretty much done.
So it was great, man, and that's how I ended up succeeding there. And then I was more clear-minded actually as a player, because I felt like I had more time. So it was all good.
I know you called us, and we had talked about doing a study in the zone program before finals, and we did that with your team. They were awesome. Yes. They were intended. They were taking notes. I'm like, people are taking notes.
It's great. It's the whole thing. It's just like it becomes to like how you do anything is how you do everything. So they're very competitive, not only on the field but in the classroom, and you want to be the best version of yourself that you can be, and that becomes the Rice guy and the Rice way. So I promote it. That's what I'm about. That's the guys that I need, guys like that, not just that take shortcuts to things. No, that doesn't work.
And if they become pro baseball, so be it.
Great.
That's not the point.
The point is to win at life, be successful at life. That hopefully whatever it is that we're teaching you, you grab it and you use it to make yourself a successful human.
You became an expert of putting the zone on like an overcoat, especially when the money's on the table. You got 2 men on base, and you got advanced runners, drive them in. You know how to find that purposeful calm. Was there a moment coaching this past year where you said, I'm going to get out of my own way? I'm overthinking everything. And did you make a transition to being in a zone as a coach where you had more awareness?
I think one of the big shifts, in a way, if you want to call it that, for me was that I had to believe wholeheartedly in every single one of the guys that's on my team and every single one of the guys that I'm putting into the lineup. Like, I believed in them, and I made sure to let them know that I believed in them. On top of that, I felt like I was when I was more calm, it was almost like everything, all the buttons that I could press worked. At the same time, the guys are looking at me and how I'm handling myself and how I'm carrying myself emotionally and my facial expressions. They're looking at all that stuff. So when I'm carrying myself in a positive way, in a, hey, yes, we can way, it rubs off on our guys.
Well, great leaders lead the way by example, and that's what you transformed from player to.
So it
I
was,
got to lead by example.
We were always prepared. I'm a chess player, so it's like I have contingencies for everything.
Well, you're not only a chess player; you play almost daily. You're online. I mean, you play a lot of chess.
I love it.
Yes,
I love it. I live my life like that. It's all kinds of openings and all kinds of gambits, and if they do this, you do that. If they do that, you do something else. So I'm prepared for it, and I think that preparation gives me the confidence to be able to lead these young men and show them how to be prepared. Because at the end of the day, it's like it's not. There's not really that much nervousness that you should have. There should be a feeling, this certain feeling that you're going to succeed here. I am ready. I am prepared. I've done this 1,000 times already, and I know that I've worked with these guys 1,000 reps, and we've talked about this particular situation. You know what to do. We've rehearsed it. You've succeeded. Now it's a matter of putting yourself in the position to land in the spot and be able to just execute what you've practiced.
Enjoy the game.
That's it. It's nothing crazy. It's just another opportunity for you to be successful. It's all it is. Pitch by pitch.
Relaxation and enjoyment. There's a stat out there: 73% of college student athletes and students in general have symptoms of chronic depression. That's a new. That blows my mind.
It's wild.
I didn't realize that it's that entrenched. Do you see that? Do you see deep stress in some of the student athletes you have? You have special kids.
I do. There's some of that, and I'm aware of it. We look for certain things with certain guys, and we have open.
University's concerned about it.
They are for sure, and we've taken courses on it, on how to look for and identify, certain things with certain guys that may be going through something. And it's just, we have an open door policy. I think a lot of the times when the guys if they're courageous enough to open up, we can help them with different things and different.
Well, you've sent a lot of your kids to us. Hey, help this kid, and what I love about it, you don't say, hey, just talk to this kid. You go, this kid needs relaxation. This kid needs more discipline. You give us a specific assignment for a kid.
Because a lot of times the guys don't realize that what they bring to the table is enough, man. You are good enough. You are enough as a human being. You are enough as a baseball player. It's just a matter of now putting yourself in the position, man. Relax, understand. Here, the pitch is going to be over here. You're going to be on time. And if it's not there, take it. And you don't need to force the action. The action comes to you, right? That's the whole thing. And I think a lot of times the kids want to think they need to hit 1,000 or they're a failure or they're dealing with social media or they're dealing with what are they going to think of me, and all these things that don't matter. They really don't matter. I mean, it is a different human that we're coaching now than we were coaching 20 years ago, right? Or 30 years ago, or even 10 years ago.
Definitely.
Right? So there's a lot of cameras on you. There's the whole social media phenomenon of likes and the dopamine rush and the whole deal. I mean, one of the things that we deal with the most is fighting the gurus on in Instagram or TikTok or Twitter that they're telling you how you should hit or how you should pitch or how you should do these things. I mean, we fight it. We fight that.
Really?
That is the thing.
That's new?
Oh my God, that's every coach is fighting that right now because everybody has solved the riddle of hitting. Whether it's grabbing some sort of PVC pipe and doing some funky motion or throwing some crazy thing over a chair or hanging on one foot. I mean, I don't know. It is crazy, and we're trying to calm that down and get the buy-in from our guys to fully trust what we're trying to get through to them for them to be successful.
So what's next for you? Obviously, this season is next. Still have your family. I know you not long ago was traveling with Trey to watch him play. That has to give you great joy.
No, I was just with him. Yeah, he was spent All-Star break with us, which is great. We're able to have our family together. It was like the second time.
So what do you do to relax? What do you do to get away from the grind of the game, the coaching, the NIL, the compliance, and all that stuff? What do you do for you?
That is a great question. I have been engulfed in a lot of things right now.
You've had yoga.
I've had a little some meditation stuff. I think what I've tried to do is in the mornings I try to really focus on things that I'm grateful for. I think that puts me in a really good state. Just things that I'm grateful for.
I love that about you. I really do. We've had that talk. Oh, my goodness.
Great. It puts me, I think it's...
If you're listening, watching, take heed. That's one of the first things you do in the morning. That is gratitude.
I do not pick up my phone. I go downstairs. There's something positive going on or something I'm listening to, and then I write what I'm grateful for. Just straight gratitude.
Every day.
Every day. That is a 100% habit. Every day I do it. And then from there, it's like before I go to bed, I visualize. It puts me in a nice state of what I want. I give energy to whatever it is that I want in the future. I live there. And then in the morning, same thing with gratitude. And then I move on. And when I'm trying to reduce my thoughts, because sometimes it's going crazy, I play chess. And I reduce my thoughts playing chess, and then I move along.
You got a big event coming up. Big event coming. Oh yeah, I just saw your eyes of dread. Tell me about the big event that your wife convinced you to do. I don't know how she
we did
convinced you.
We were talking about it, and we were going to do it for our 25th wedding anniversary. That's our gift to each other. She's done it twice already, so this will be her third.
Excuse me, Valentine's Day.
Correct.
Very good.
I will never forget it.
Never forget. You better not.
Brilliant. So we're doing this event called 29029. It's going to be in September, and it's basically we're going up the equivalent of Mount Everest, which is 29 feet. That's why it's named that. But we're going to be going up like 26 miles uphill in a mountain. So it's going to be 36 hours to accomplish.
I thought you were a sprinter. What are you doing this long marathon? Love conquers all.
I am trying to, open up other, break through different thresholds right now.
Neural pathways.
Hey, I never thought I would be doing something like this. Stamina's never been my thing. So now I'm learning something completely different. It's hitting my brain. Completely different, different moments of clarity. We've spoken about that, and it's a different feel. I get to do this activity with my wife. We've never done anything like it. It's building me spiritually in a different way. I'm creating again different things that I didn't know I could do. My wife and I are both together. It's helping our relationship as well. We're spending more time doing this activity that we're trying to really conquer if we can. In the future. So it's all in all, it's been really a heck of an experience so far, and I'm still not quite there. So we're about 6 weeks or so away from doing this thing, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Putting in the work, though.
Putting in the work, yes.
You're putting in the work.
That's
so
right.
Why would a top baseball player want to come to Rice and definitely come in for the fall? Maybe transfer from where they are. What's for the fall?
Well, I think it's that we have a lot of. We're beyond baseball. Like baseball's a part of it, but we're definitely a life choice coming to us. I think baseball-wise, I think we can help guys create a body of work. And one of the things that I always talk to my guys about is talking about does your goal match your effort? So that's one of the things that we always talk to our guys, because I want to make sure you have these lofty goals or whatever it is you want to do. Great. I have it'll be my staff and myself. We will meet you in that place and we will elevate your game. If your goals are matching your effort, man, we'll go all the way with you as far as you want to go. So we are very confident in our ability to develop talent. So you don't have to be perfect coming here. But we have all the technology you can imagine to help you be the best player or best version you can be. On top of that, I value the mental side of it. I think in order for you to really reach what you want to be or the level you want to get to, you have to have the mental side of it, the mental clarity. All of our coaches speak the same language, and we use the score system to talk to our guys. That's a big deal in what you're doing, and it starts with the self-discipline, and we move from there. So the guys understand it. Like, I lived it, I do it, I'm about it, and I'm trying to breathe into my guys, because at the end of the day, I don't want the guys that come to our program to be like a come in and see you later. No, it's like I want you to be part of our program and know that these are your brothers and these are your alumni that you're now connected with for the rest of your life, and come back and be a part of the program, be a mentor to this next group, and just kind of keep making it better, leave it better for the next person, leave it better for the next person. And I think I have a big connection with all the alumni. I can bridge the gap from the 80s all the way till right now with our guys. So I have the ear of the alumni, and we can connect. Like, I will do anything for my players, whether it's set them up with an internship or meet this right person in this particular industry that they want to go into, or ask questions or whatever. And alumni are constantly coming in. I'm bringing them in to talk to our guys, and it's about the self-discipline of what you're doing, your relentless effort towards success, right? Your relentless effort towards what you want to do. Is what's going to elevate you.
And if you do want to be a Major League Baseball player and get drafted, you can, because you've had players drafted now.
We've had 200 players drafted from Rice.
Oh my goodness! I did not. What a stat! That's an eye opener. I did not know that.
200. So it's like you easily go pro from Rice. I mean, we're in the middle of Houston. Scouts are at our practices every day, or at our games every day. So it's like it is a gem. It's like a boutique for guys who, at the end of the day, want to win at life and want to be successful humans. It goes beyond. That's why I say it goes beyond baseball at Rice. But baseball could be the way for you to get into Rice and excel at whatever capacity that you want.
If you could go back in time, which I know we can't, but if you could, what would you tell 10-year-old Jose Cruz Jr.?
Dream bigger.
Dream bigger.
Yes.
Go big, be bold. Good fortune favors the bold.
I would go dream bigger. I mean, and in thinking and this whole thing, it's always been like, I've been a dreamer my entire life. I've always focused on what I could be. I've seen myself doing things that I'm not supposed to be doing, right? But I didn't know any better, so I did them, and I accomplished them, and I got there, and I was able to manifest a lot of things that probably shouldn't have, but the mind was pretty strong, and the vision was really clear, and I believe if you can see it, man, you can achieve it. So that's what I would tell my younger self: dream bigger.
I love that. And if you really want to dream big, go to Rice University. Send your kid there. Right. Go Owls.
Go Owls.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I've enjoyed being with you for the last, 15, 20, how many? I don't know. I've lost track.
Over 20, I know that.
Over 20 years, you and I have been together, and what a ride. What an evolution.
What a ride.
And we've had many late-night phone calls, and it's been a true pleasure, a privilege, and a joy. We can't wait to help the Owls this fall. So our company, we're fired up.
I can't wait,
get
man.
the score system
We're elevating.
We're elevating. Thanks a lot for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching or listening to Living in the Zone podcast. Make sure that you subscribe so you can be up to date on all of our information and content. Go to ZoneCoach.com where you're going to learn more on how we can help you live your life, business, or sport in the zone.